Thank you. Welcome to the Nest Files. My name is Mike Carroll. Next to me I have Corey Watford.
How are you guys?
Thank you for coming out to another terrific show. Here today we have CGhosts. They're out of Meriden, Connecticut. Nope.
No, Guilford.
Guilford, excuse me. Guilford, Connecticut. We have over here Pamela, who is the founder. Jennifer.
Brian.
And here, how'd you guys, start about? How did you come to, the CGhosts name?
In 2008, or 2007 actually, in the fall of 2007, I had been long investigating by myself forever and decided that I wanted to reach out to other people that were like-minded. It wasn't a subject that you could discuss very openly, often with people that they didn't kind of go, what's that mean? So then after seeing so many shows come out on TV, I'm like, well, now it's becoming something you can just openly. So I put an ad in the paper calling on people to come to an open meeting to just talk about ideas. I was also looking for ideas from people to share stories with me for my book. I wanted to write a book on ghost history in the shoreline area of Guilford. So when I did that, I got over, 300 calls, emails. It was a huge, huge outpouring of people that wanted to discuss the subject. And we ended up having a meeting in my very small living room with about 40 of us. And from that 40, three things were created. People that were just enthusiasts who wanted to sit around and talk about it, people who wanted to investigate, had an investigation experience, and then people that had a story or a house that they wanted to share or have us investigate. Right. So we were really busy for 6 months with about 20 cases in about 6 months.
And what year did you guys start?
2007, fall of 2007.
And in what, 4 years, how many cases have you guys done?
Well, initially we had so many come in, and then we teamed up with another group in Connecticut, and that didn't go well. It was too big of a group. It was too hard to manage. There was too many chiefs. And I was really just out there, and the core people that are with me now were out there to not only investigate, but what we wanted to do was help people and be out in the field helping families that were in distress. It wasn't just going to an old abandoned building and seeing what we could get. It was really more about helping folks that we were meeting. So we broke off from them in the spring of 2008 and kind of went and did our own thing, and I pulled together the 4 core people who I have with me now. And probably over the last 4 years, we've done maybe 6 houses, but a lot of just historic investigations, going down to Gettysburg. We went out to Waverly, went out to Rhode Island. We've just done stuff. And now we're just, because we were trying to figure out how we wanted to approach this, we're just really coming back now to get back into the field as the 4 of us. So,
how do you feel individually? You all come together as a team. Mm-hmm. Individually, you have different things that you bring to the team. Mm. How do you feel that, is there stuff that, maybe you don't know that Pamela knows, or vice versa?
Lots of stuff you don't know.
You guys learn from each other?
You take, go ahead.
Well, I'd like to say, first of all, Pamela brings a wealth of experience because of her counseling, which is sort of, how we go at it for helping cases. And
thanks. Yeah, we do. We approach it from that perspective. So, but they had the technical background, a lot of the technical background that I didn't have coming into it. I was coming at it from taking on stories, listening to people, working with people. I have a counseling background, like you said, so that was my interest. And then he came in with the tech, and his beautiful wife here came in. We are sensitives. All 3 of us are sensitive, so we use that high perception. We don't just use equipment out there. We have a lot of great tech equipment, but we like to corroborate it with, if I'm getting some kind of feeling out there, I'll say take a photo, kind of try to engage the technical side of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there are different aspects of us.
Yeah, and like you said, the group is pretty much fine-tuned into our objective is to, help the living as much as the dead. We all kind of, our qualities dovetail together, and we work so. And because there's so much trust involved in this field when you work with people, and we work together so beautifully in our friendships. So just
What do you guys feel is better, like a home case or an outdoors case? I mean, which one brings you not gratification for yourself, but like you know, a better sense of accomplishment, that you're actually doing something? Is it being out there in the cold or what have you with the elements at you, or in someone's intimate house? I mean, what do you prefer?
Well, I personally like the ones where you're actually at somebody's house, that when you can go into a house and you have somebody scared, really scared of something, whatever it is, and you can leave and they're feeling better about themselves and their situation. That's sort of what I'm in it for.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I find the ones we do outside are more like playing. You know, we really it's a relief really from the heaviness of a lot of these cases, because they really aren't. You know, they're not. They take the toll.
The human aspect of that, and going into someone's home. First of all, being invited into somebody's home, and the trust issue that goes with that. For them to disclose that personal information to you, I take that very, very seriously. I don't like to be in their home without everybody feeling okay with what's going on. So I try to meet them and talk to them even before we go out there. So that's, like she said, it's a very different feeling. I don't think I like one or the other better. I think I like both for very different reasons, you know.
And with your background in particular, you know, the counseling background, how do you feel that really helps, you know, other than consoling the client and helping them through that way? How do you feel that really helps in the field itself? Is there something, theories or, you know, mind perception of, you know, is this a ghost, or is this just my mind playing tricks on me?
That's a discussion we have very often in this. Like we said, we've developed one of the things we were doing over the last 3 years is honing in on the four of us being together as a team that trusts each other intimately, and that is something we talk about all the time. What is going on? It's, you know, I would love to come at it from just a scientific aspect and say, okay, let's just go out there and get all the evidence and support the field and go, here, obviously, paranormal happenings exist, and here's the evidence to prove that. But you know what? We're dealing in a realm that it's so far beyond what we understand. Yeah, you can capture evidence all day long, but do you really know what's going on that? I don't know. Right. I don't presume to say I know that. What I am knowing is that my clients that I work with in houses are either terrified, upset. They're reaching out to us because they're not in a good situation, or they just want to know what's going on. Some aren't terrified at all. They kind of like it. You know, they enjoy having a ghost in their house, or they think they're having a ghost in their house. I don't think you can. I think it's such a personal question. You know, what do I think this is? That's, you know, it's going to be very different than what anybody else at this table thinks it is. But I think
always
in the team,
discussed, you know, between, you know, mental illness and the paranormal.
Yes.
That's a really fine line. It's a gray area. So.
I work in a counseling center where people walk in all the time saying, I hear voices, people are talking to me, things are moving around the room. Now there's a fine line between schizophrenia and somebody having a paranormal experience, and it's hard to determine that. So I like having that background out there because I use that a lot when I'm working with the living in homes.
Epilepsy be part of that possibly as well?
Sure.
As a slight possibility of maybe that's what they're experiencing. It's not
a possession. It's not. Sure. And the other thing on that is that you know, we just had a case last week where it was extremely high EMF. They were being bombarded on the highest levels of electromagnetic frequency I've ever seen. What's that doing to them, you know, on a daily basis? You know, they're having hallucinations.
Frayed wires. It could be anything like that.
Yeah, and they were getting it from all four sides. It was fascinating to see that corroboration of what she was saying was happening to them and what was being bombarded at them. So is it attracting the spiritual realm? Are the high EMF attracting something into the home, or are they experiencing it because there's high EMF? And that's what I go to these guys and go, what do you think? I don't know, you know. And then I look to other teams for to work with and find out what they're thinking about that, because we don't have all the answers in CGhosts.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does.
No.
I mean, I brought us around in 2009, and I was before that. I still had the group, but I mean, we've met some amazing people, you guys included, and you know, I was hoping, all right, I'm hoping, you know, Jenn knows what I'm seeking, and she didn't, and that's no offense to you, you know, but it's true. Like, it doesn't matter who you meet, you don't know all the answers. No one's gonna know.
Right.
You'll just have another piece to the puzzle.
Right.
Actually, my mother-in-law was listening to Coast to Coast AM this morning, and he's talking about how ghosts may not actually be, you know, someone passing on and being stuck there. It might be sort of like a time warp where you're seeing part of the past.
Right.
And that's all that is.
Right.
It may not actually be, you know, ghosts or,
Exactly.
you know, spirits or anything
Exactly.
like that.
I have a really strong belief in quantum physics. One of my own personal theories is that, which is really a quantum physics theory, that time is happening, everything's happening all at once. So we're in linear mode in this life, but the universe isn't in linear mode. So you know, those who are sensitive can get a glimpse of something that's just actually happening at the same time. And now we have amazing technology that can capture that glimpse of it. So I don't know, you're right, we don't have the answers. And that's what I love about it so much, because it's this profound mystery that you can keep on going at and still never really get there.
And,
you know?
and it is amazing how in the science aspect of it, it's almost like plateaued. You know,
Right.
you really only give it so much information as, you know, a human soul, and that's it.
Yeah.
And yet we're always seeking.
Seeking something more. Yeah.
And back in 2003, you know, a little off the subject, in 03, poker really took off. You know, it hit levels that I guarantee you they never thought were going to happen. And now you can kind of say the same thing with paranormal. I mean, you look, when I started, you know, on Facebook like everyone else, there wasn't many groups out there. And now you look, there's probably
so
10
many.
just in this little
So
area.
many.
You know,
And that's
insane.
interesting, and it's one of the reasons I hang back so much, because it's deluged right now. There's too many of us out there, and there's only so many cases. And I love what you guys are doing, because you're so active. You're out there. You're doing the cemeteries. You're doing the historic thing, which I love too. I have a huge
Freestyling 101.
freestyle. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just go, you know.
And the fact that you combine the teams too. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so much competitiveness that really is sad. I mean, it really hurts the
Yeah.
field. You know.
Yeah, we went through a really difficult time with that other team, and it was sad because we all had good intentions, but human egos got in the way, and it was just silliness, and there was no point in any of that. It didn't need to come down to that. So I'm very reclusive now with my team. I'm very protective of them and myself, because not everybody's out there. There's too many out there, and we're in it for good stuff. We're trying to do something good. We're trying to either help people or learn something or just have a really good time. We just love this. I mean, we all four of us love the subject. We sit around talking about it when we're not doing it. So.
Yeah, and that's how we are too. I mean, I don't know about Michelle, but my fiance Haley, she's like, Mike, when can we spend time together? And it's not that I don't want to. It's like, you know, this is like a passion, a dedication.
That's right.
You know,
Because we're always traveling. I mean, me
That's
and
right.
Mike are
Yeah.
usually on the road.
Yeah.
24/7 pretty much. I
That's
mean,
it.
I've probably logged 3,000 miles in the last month. It's just
I know.
insane.
And it's a lot of money and time on your behalf, and you're not getting paid to
No,
do it.
we don't-
None
we never.
of us get paid to do
And
it.
that was the other question.
I mean, even when we're driving down the road, I'll see something and I'll stop and just take pictures
Exactly,
of it.
exactly.
Because you never know what you're going
You
to see
never
there.
know. Yeah. And I do that because I get hits where I'm like, I just have to turn into that cemetery for some reason, or this building. It doesn't even have to be old. It can be just something I get a feeling and go, gotta go check that out. There's something going on there.
I don't miss the looks from the photo processing center. What is that again? Okay.
What is this orb stuff going on?
110 pictures of darkness.
Darkness, okay. But wait, there's a holy grail in here. I know it.
I know.
I know, when we went to that camp, I took like 160 pictures.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh boy, this will be a fun day.
Yeah.
man.
No, and you put so much great stuff up. It's so fun to watch you guys. You guys are just rocking.
Well,
It's fun.
that's what it was. Weirdly, you were the one in the van that day.
Yeah, I was out hiking.
And when you pulled over and you're talking to us, I was like, no, Mike, what's the odds? I mean, there's such a big area, you know.
Yeah,
what's the
that was-
odds you actually just come upon us?
Yeah.
And you know, I've
That's
looked
all
into
kids,
everything
man.
you guys do, and it's
Yeah.
perfect. It's awesome. And that's why I said, all right, let's have them on.
Thank you.
We'll get the
Thank you.
Thank you,
exposure,
Billy.
you know, and learn a little bit
Yeah.
about you guys.
Yeah. And we're looking forward to Saturday with y'all. too.
Saturday's going to be
It's
awesome.
going to be really fun. I've never been out there, so I'm
A
excited.
lot of people that are with us haven't been out there, and unfortunately, I think it's gotten a little bit bigger than I was expecting. I think it's 33 people, not including the quote-unquote special guest who's bringing 5 more people on top of that. Thankfully, it's not a small little cottage.
I was wondering what you're doing. I'm like, he just invited 700 people to this thing. Really?
Well, it does it automatically. You know, not a Facebook, fan, but it does. does, you know, do it automatically. So
I was glad all 700 aren't showing up.
no, it is a big enough area to where, like, if they did, you know, each person could have their own little corner. You know, I'd cut out a little 1x1 circle for them.
Right.
Okay.
But you guys are gonna love
It's like
it.
the
then.
first day of fishing season, you know.
Yeah.
Ghosts don't have a chance.
You got this spot right here.
Yeah, this is your one spot.
flash is going on.
You know, when you think about it too, if you get that many people, if you get them all in one area and you actually get something from 2 different angles, that would be really interesting to see if it appeared the same way in the same camera,
yeah.
or if you get right and the left side,
Yeah,
or
interesting.
whatever.
And everybody has the same intent being there, so maybe the
Yeah.
energy that
See
we
if we
Well,
generate.
that's why I'm hoping everyone has the same intent.
Yeah.
Well, you
Some
will
people
see.
know more information than others, but in this area, it's not a small area. It's what, like half a mile walk into it, and then when you're there, the actual village itself is probably 500, 600 feet, and then it's another half a mile walk up to the cemetery. So it is a really big area.
Oh.
So hopefully you guys are ready for something like that. I mean, you look perfect out there. No offense, you got the long hair. You look absolutely perfect. You know, take a
What, is there
picture
a
black
look
and
in this
white,
field? I didn't
you know?
think there's a look in this field.
You know, absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Where Charlie Brown, you know, whole sheet with the holes cut out.
We could just run around behind the scenes, give people pictures. We'll be the pictures. Right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, there's so many people that sit there and argue. You know, like, oh, we got something and you didn't, or just bickering so much.
see,
So that's why we have what I think it's like 5 or 6 groups in all, plus random other people that are coming. And that's what anywhere we go, we try to invite as many people as possible. You know, and it's not to flood it. It's just, oops, I invited too many people and they're all coming.
When they're coming.
Yeah, you
Because
know.
I mean, you could take one person could take a picture, and you could be standing right next to them and take another picture,
That's right.
same angle,
That's
and
right.
you'll catch someone on one, maybe not
Yeah.
another one.
Right.
And we like to do that a lot. We, if I'm feeling something, I'll say take a picture so I have probably the best photo of that is out at Mansfield, where I really definitively felt something pushing down on me, and I asked my photographer to take a picture, and you can see this thing coming in at lightning speed on top of me. So, and I like to then have somebody else's camera do it to see if we can, you know, you want to corroborate what you're doing out there. And my best experiences have always been personal ones. There was never a camera, there was never a DVR. I mean, I've honestly had some amazing experiences. But when we're just dealing in this field, talking about it doesn't mean anything. You have to show your
What kind of
proof.
equipment do you guys use? I know there's standard cameras
It's my
and this and
tech
that.
department.
Well, yeah, we have the regular EMFs and video equipment. We do have one piece of equipment. Not exactly sure what to call it. But
That you've designed. Don't be humble about this.
Well, it's, I sort of took some of the ideas from reading about Tesla and matched it with a ultra low frequency antenna, and it sort of senses energy, and you can get some sounds in it, and that's probably the best thing I got.
Have you guys used the Ghost Box or the Ovilus or anything like that? Are you fans of that? Or?
I am a fan of it. I just can't afford it. I'm a big fan of a lot of equipment I can't afford right now.
Well, that's almost a ghost.
That
box
really
you
is.
have.
What he's designed
man-
acts
yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
And we've had some cool experiences with it where I'll be doing EVP work with EMF detector, and I'm getting hits on that EMF, and it's getting hits on his thing at the same time. So it's been a good corroboration. It's very interesting to watch.
And it started speaking on the way home from our last meeting.
That's right.
pick it-
What was it talking about?
I'm just like, there's
It's not hooked up
in
to
the back of the
anything, and it's just
car.
talking.
Yeah, there's no,
So,
there's
you
no
know-
power source to it.
Yeah.
My favorite EVP that I actually got off it, and I pulled it out and I cleaned it up. It says distinctly, "You've gone too far," and I'm like, oh.
And so you basically turned around and went home, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I shut it off for the night.
Okay. You don't seem like a person that would scare easily, though.
No.
Not usually.
I've never seen any of us get scared.
No.
No.
You're pretty much.
But I think that's because of the way we view what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, we're not dealing with really any, when you really, and as you know, when you're really out there starting to study it, and it becomes very less scary. I mean, what Hollywood does to it, what Hollywood has always done to it, what the sitting around the ghost fire camp thing do it, you know,
And it's,
that's
you
not
know,
what it is.
And when you're in someone's home too, you know, you really can't
Yeah.
present that as a
Right.
professional. I mean,
Right.
it's,
Right.
You know, we've learned
Gotta
to
maintain composure.
Yeah, until you get home, and then you.
And then you go, did you see
Yeah.
that? How was that? Yeah.
Doesn't that also heighten the the homeowner's awareness, and it kind of throws something in their
Exactly.
head, like, wait a minute, they
Right.
experienced it. Now when you
And
leave, you're going to get a phone call. It's still going on, you know, and
Right.
it's their home they got to live in, so you got to be really careful.
Right.
Yeah. I've only done, I don't know, how many, maybe 3, 4 homes where there was genuinely something paranormal going on. Of all the homes I've been in, very often we could debunk what's going on. And I do go in with a open mind to them, certainly acknowledging what they're experiencing, not diminishing it. But I try to find a reasonable explanation so that it's easy for them to get through it and get over it. But there have been a few when that was not the case, and it was something real deal going on.
Have you ever taken, what I love doing is taking people that don't believe anything we do. They're totally against it. It's not true. It's just bugs flying around, or it's light sources, or, you know, it's, you know, someone smoking behind me when no one's there. Have you taken those kind of people out in the field and said, here, you know, see if you, you know, experience this, or you're not even telling them,
she's
just
sitting
take
behind
them
you.
to a random place. Oh. Oh, I didn't know I had a skeptic.
Yeah, you got a skeptic right over there. So, yeah.
And so, you know, is that something you do a lot, or is it just a short time thing, or?
We used to.
Yeah,
but
I
now
don't take anybody out in the field anymore
Yeah.
because of what happened. But yes, there were people, definitely. Kim's, one of my team members, is a high skeptic. She believes, but she's not experienced, so she's waiting. She's not buying in until she experiences it personally. So I would never force upon somebody to say, believe or don't believe. To me, it's real enough for us.
Yeah, and I think in their mind, if they don't believe, they'll debunk anything.
Yeah,
It really
I mean,
doesn't
I could
matter
sit
what
here
you
and do
expose them
that.
to.
Yeah. I could even question my own experiences some days. I go, nah, you know,
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I was just hallucinating. I don't know. Maybe I was
Maybe you had
tired.
too much coffee
I had a little
that
too much
day.
wine that night.
Yep.
So I don't know. You know, you have to. I don't think. You know, everybody has different motives for being in this. Every single person in it has a different motive. I think we're really aligned in CGhosts in that our motive is, the mission really is, 1, help those in need first and foremost, if they're experiencing something that they can't explain and they want help explaining it. 2, spiritually, it's a big thing for us. This is a spiritual realm we're talking about. It's not just science, and so that would be. And then 3rd is, you know, just go out there and get great evidence if you can, because it's fun to get it. It's so fun to.
Had that interest as far as we can remember.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all been drawn to it. So,
I'm
and now
sure.
it's just, you know, because it's just morphed into, you know,
Yeah.
a more spiritual path.
Yeah, and I think you probably the same. It was just something you were drawn to when you were young, right?
Yeah, pretty
You know,
much.
it's just something you couldn't not think
Yeah,
about and had to be part of.
A good day for me is walking out in the woods, and if I find something, you know, I'd run home to my parents, oh, check this out, and they're like, wow, that's junk, and to me it wasn't, you know, it was like, wow, there's a story behind it, you know, whatever it is, a broken plate or whatever,
Right.
and I
Right.
wanted to know more, and then I started delving into everything else, having experiences when I was younger, and then it just took off from there.
Right. And we
You
talked
know.
about that you had that real interest
Yeah.
in history, which I share with you because there's so many amazing just personal stories and building stories, and I love knowing the backstory on that stuff. You know, if I capture evidence, great, but there's this picture that starts to unfold as you know, we're all naturally into investigating and research, so it
Well,
appeals
even
to
if
that.
you have a picture and there's nothing in it, not an orb, not a cat, nothing, you know, just random, a nice picture, you know, and people are like, wow, that's nothing, all right, where's the next picture? And they're constantly looking for something. Those pictures still, though, they tell a story. You were there, you know, it documents the whole experience. You know, it's like the environment, the people, the temperature outside. I mean, everything that's actually kind of paranormal, you know, because it's not, a normal thing is, you know, going to work 9 to 5 every single day. You know, paranormal is not just spiritual, it's something out of the ordinary. You're there with a group of people that 9 times out of 10 you wouldn't have been with before, you know, and
So just
it's
sitting here with you is
perfect.
paranormal. So it's just saying.
Yeah, pretty much I'm having a spiritual experience right now, you know, absolutely.
Just wondering.
You know?
The above the norm.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. No.
Where's some places that you guys really want to go to that maybe you haven't been able to go to? You know, even if it's not local,
Drooling
even
to
if
get
it's
into.
just
Drooling.
U.S.
Oh, well, we're all talking about going to Transylvania right now, so that's
I'd actually
big
like
one.
to get into like somewhere like CVH.
Yes, and I
For
do
some
have a
reason
connection
that-
to do the
yeah.
tunnels down in CVH.
Yeah,
I'd love to
that
get
I would like
into.
to go
Yeah,
to before it gets just, you know, before these.
we've been out
facilities
to.
get-
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been out to Mansfield, that was fun.
Mansfield Reformatory or
the
Mansfield?
sanatorium, the one in Mansfield, Connecticut, the sanatorium that's abandoned now, and we got permission.
UConn owns part of that, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think that's right. Yes, we were very lucky to obtain permission to get in there, which is a rare thing. So. That was, but places, God, there's so many places we want to get into. And you look like you're getting into lots of them, so we're going to follow you. We'll just come behind you and
call DEP, call everyone else. That's how you do it.
I know. That's what I appreciate how much you work that.
So.
Do you have a day job?
I do, unfortunately, but it's not a full-time thing.
Oh,
so that just makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't care. As long as there's money in my gas tank and a little bit of food in me, I'm going wherever. I don't care.
Or Monster drinks.
Yeah. So, have y'all ever had Monster drinks?
No.
All right.
That
not
would be
a plug
good with
for
me.
Monster here, but I'm telling you, I never had them before. We went out the other day. I had one. It was the Rehab. All right. Went down like water.
All
right. It's tea and lemonade. Went down like water.
I gotta get that.
I was like, all right, that was really good. So I bought 2 more, not knowing that I'm going to be spazzing out 5 minutes later. Sure enough, I was.
Yeah.
Don't drink Monsters that fast. It does not work. Not even,
we'll
at a sanitarium, it doesn't work.
I'll remember that.
Yeah, Seaside.
Yeah, we were at Seaside down in Waterford, and it just, it was bad.
Well, these pictures came out.
Yeah.
He bounced
And I'm
from one
naturally
side
like
to
that
the other
anyway.
side.
That's not a good thing to put me on.
And then we went to the camp, and he was just going, and I'm like, all right, slow down.
But that's the whole thing. It's the experience, you know. It's being around people doing stuff you would never do,
That's
you
right.
know, and
the love of doing something when you get, it's always great to bring a group together that's like-minded, especially in such a strange topic, you know. It's not like I can sit around with my people at work and talk
it's still
about
taboo too. A lot of people still don't talk about it. Like I show people I work with, and one of my coworkers, my assistant manager, loves it. My other coworker, she's like, wow, I can blow smoke and it's paranormal. So she's a total skeptic. I don't want to talk to her, you know, but you know,
you
do
need
you
to
guys
talk to her.
I try to, but it's like, you know, I'm talking to that wall over there and it's not working. But do you guys ever, you know, find yourself talking to people and they're like tuned out, you know, they're listening to the music in their head, they're like, yep, all right, whatever, they're crazy, I'm not listening. Do you find people like that, or?
We actually, well, I don't know about you, but we have the opposite problem. People find us, and it's not just because of his crazy hair. You know, we'll be.
Although that has a lot to do with it.
No, we'll just be, you know, restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, just people randomly come out with blah 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 ghosts, and I'm like, did I say something?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
And
bringing
it is,
this up.
it's amazingly true.
And
that has
really
been one of the
personal,
coolest things for us for 4 years. People find us.
Yeah.
We don't do much, and it comes to us. And I think that's just because the energy in this group is attracting. And we don't even have to say ghosts.
No,
people just start telling, or if they even get a little wind that I have an interest in that, I get so many stories. I was at a party last Saturday. They were lined up to talk to me. There were 6 of them waiting to tell me. And I'm going. It's like I just came for the the
you
cake.
Didn't know you were coming for a book signing,
Right.
right?
I just came for the cake. So, yeah, it's fun.
I find a lot too. I sort of look at it a little bit different. I don't necessarily call them ghosts. I don't know what it is we're exactly investigating. And that sort of turns a lot of people on that normally would be negative about it. Because whether you believe in the afterlife or not, that's going to dictate whether you believe in ghosts or not. But if you say there's something out there and we have no idea what it really is, and I'm just trying to build something to communicate with it, because it's obviously trying to communicate, whether it's mimicking us by appearing as a person, or what we want to see, and you start taking it from that aspect. You can call it alien, you can call it anything.
Wouldn't that be supernatural other than paranormal, though?